on 6th of January 2020. This expired on the 5th of January 2025. Fire Group of Companies Limited was required per Regulation 56(1) of the Electronic Communications Regulation 2011 LI 1991 and Condition 4 of the authorization to submit a complete application at least 3 months prior to the expiration of the authorization to renew the said authorization. Mr. Speaker, the NCA notified Fire Group of Companies Limited in a letter dated 16th of December 2024 to submit a complete application to renew its authorization by 5th of January 2025. Fire Group of Companies Limited, however, failed to submit the renewal. Following the expiration of the company's authorization on 5th January 2025, the NCA issued a letter dated 18th February 2025 directing them to cease operation. Like I stated earlier, the station has subsequently submitted a new application and we are processing it, but even during the processing period, in the spirit of good faith, we have asked them to resume operations. 2, the case of ISA Consult Limited. They were granted authorization to operate a commercial FM station in Tamale on 19th November 2018. Again, per Regulation 56(1) of the ECR 2011 LI 1991 and Condition 5 of their authorization, they ought to have submitted a complete application 3 months prior to the expiration of their authorization. ISA Consult failed to do so. Following the expiration of the company's authorization on 18th November 2023, the NCA issued a letter dated 12 February 2024 directing ISA Limited to cease and desist its operations. ISA applied for a new authorization in Tamale on 21st August 2024. They were issued a provisional authorization on 13th November 2024 and were asked to settle the provisional authorization fee of 61,985 Ghana cedis by 12th of January 2025. They failed to pay the authorization fee, leading to the suspension of the authorization. They have since made payment, and we have once again given them permission to go back on air. Abu Channel Media Group. They got their authorization to operate on 105.7 at Adidome in the Volta region on 20th July 2010. It expired on 19th July 2015. Again, on 12th of July 2015, they were asked by the NCA to submit an application to renew by the 10th of August 2015. Abu Channel submitted a renewal on 4th November 2015. The company was given a provisional license on 8th August 2016. They paid the authorization fee on 29th March 2017. Mr. Speaker, that authorization expired on 6th March 2023. Abu Channel submitted an incomplete renewal application on 15th March 2023. The NCA requested Abu Channel to submit their SNIT clearance, their tax clearance, and their audited financial statements and NCA Form AP01B by 10th June 2023. Abu Channel informed the NCA on 6th of November 2023 that due to their nature of their business being not-for-profit, they should be exempted from submitting an audited financial statement, SNIT, and tax clearance certificate. However, the legal division of the NCA on 23rd February 2024 recommended that the request for waiver by Abu Channel Media Group should be denied and the company should be requested to submit same. The NCA communicated same to Abu Channel on 12th March 2024. Mr. Speaker, as Minister, given the failure to submit all of these documents since 2023 and despite the refusal of the waiver by the NCA in 2024, we took the policy decision to suspend their operations. Abu Channel, in a letter dated 10th March 2025, requested for another waiver of the same tax clearance and TIN number from GRA. We declined. They have hitherto submitted those documents, and we've allowed them to go back on air. Ochami Radio, also similar situations. It's all about the request to submit the documents and reapply, but failure to do so. And so, Mr. Chairman, if I have leave of the questioner, it's the same scenario across all the other 6, and we have since allowed them, once they've complied with the law, to go back on air. I thank you.
Any further question?
Yeah, Speaker. May I find out from the Minister if there are plans to engage the National Media Commission in a bid to encourage compliance and also respecting the relevant laws. I'm sure he will be happy to see the stations complying to the provisions of the law. And I'm wondering what collaborative effort he wishes to engage the Media Commission in this regard or in this context.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to commend the questioner for this question, because it's critical that we make this point clear, because the country listens to Parliament. The law, when it comes to the renewal of a frequency authorization, and especially because we have members of Parliament who own radio stations, please take note, the law is clear. You do not renew your radio license when it expires. You must renew your radio license at least 90 days before the expiration date. So if all of that must be done again. So our appeal to media houses is we respect the freedom of expression, but as media practitioners, you have a responsibility to respect the law. And so we have engaged the Media Foundation for West Africa. We have also engaged the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association. Their licenses asking for renewals. You can only do a fresh application. And when you do a fresh application, you now have to go through the whole process again of inspection and verification and provision license authorizations and test transmission. All of that must be done again. So our appeal to media houses is we respect the freedom of expression, but as media practitioners, you have a responsibility to respect the law. And so we have engaged the Media Foundation for West Africa. We have also engaged the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association to draw their attention. In fact, what the NCA does is that the NCA issues a notice to you 6 months to the expiration. So that's 3 months before your window closes. The NCA writes to you to notify you. But many times, and Mr. Speaker, if my memory serves me right, in the case of, for example, Wontumi Multimedia, which was part of the second batch of shutdowns we did, the NCA wrote to Wontumi in 2022, wrote back in 2023. And so it is on the back of these notices that we take enforcement action. So once again, I think that it's a timely question, and that the media houses should take advantage to bear in mind that 90 days to the expiration of their license, they must indicate their willingness to renew. And we will continue to send the notices 6 months to the time and 3 months to the time from the regulator. I thank you.
Speaker,
yes.
May I find out from the Minister whether or not the spectrum allocations to these affected stations have been reallocated? And if it is the case, whether it went through due process.
So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the directive that was given to the regulator and enforced by the regulator in February was not a revocation of licenses. In 2019, we had a revocation of licenses, and so you then had to reinstate those licenses. What we authorized was a suspension. A suspension means that the license still holds, but you cannot operate on it. And in the cases of the 6 and the subsequent 62 that we did, we have not revoked any licenses. We only suspended the licenses. When they rectified the infractions, we reinstated the licenses. So we've gone through there was no process of going to the board or anything because there was no revocation and then a renewal of a fresh license. This was just a reinstatement and a suspension, not a revocation. Thank you.
Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, may I find out from the Minister if there are plans or some strategic measures to draw a balance between regulatory compliance and protection of media plurality? I don't know if he gets the sense of my question. Yeah.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that is a fine line that as policy maker I must toe. A full respect for, I believe, Article 162 of the Constitution, media freedoms, but also ensuring that the responsibilities, corporate responsibilities of media practitioners must also be respected. And so, Mr. Speaker, we will continue to toe the fine line between respecting the freedoms of expression and media plurality, but also ensuring that the right things per the law. Mr. Speaker, I think that it would be, for want of a better word, irresponsible on my part as minister to say that because I want to respect media plurality, a media house should not pay their taxes. Because when we demand that they submit their tax clearance, it is to ensure that they are paying their tax obligations to the state. And so media houses have a responsibility to comply with the law. And so we would continue to respect the freedom of the media and media plurality, but we will continue to engage through GIBA, Media Foundation for West Africa, and our administrative processes at the regulator to ensure compliance with the law of the land. Thank you.
Yes.
Speaker, I appreciate the detailed answers provided, but this may be my final question.
Very well.
In respect of Order 89.3.
Yes.
Speaker, I appreciate the solutions and the answers, but does the minister have an overarching redress mechanism to deal with the challenge, especially the affected stations? Yes, I've heard him mention impacts. For instance, the earlier notifications that we're giving, they are all part of that. But these measures exist in part. Are there any more redress mechanism to
yes,
provide
Honourable
solutions to
Minister.
the affected?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. When it comes to redress on the part of the media houses, and if that's the question, if media houses are unhappy about a decision taken by the regulator, they can appeal to the ministry. And where the ministry sides with the regulator, they can actually go to the Electronic Communications Tribunal. And we saw that happen in 2019 when there was a closure of 137 media houses. It went to the Electronic Communications Tribunal, and the Justice Dateban Commission upheld the decision by the then minister to shut down the radio stations, but then said that the fines that were imposed were illegal, but said reinforced the position that 90 days to the expiration, if you fail to register, your license had lapsed. So the redress process is to go to the regulator and try and fix with the regulator. Like in the case of Abu Channel, they ask for a waiver. If you are unhappy with that, you come to the ministry. If you're unhappy with the ministry, that's why we have the Electronic Communications Tribunal, which is the final arbiter relative to spectrum issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Jerry Shaib.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for indulging me. Oh, Minister, you indicated one of the stations had to be closed because of security concerns and that you were advised by the national security. Is that the Guma? And what has been the recent development with reference to consideration of reopening sale?
Yes, Minister.
Honorable Speaker, the case of Guma is a very particular one because Guma and a number of other radio stations were shut down in 2023, if my memory serves me right, because of the role they were playing in incitement in the conflict in Boku. In that instance, 4 media houses were shut down. After about 6 months of shutdown, the media houses signed a bond, in quotes, of good behavior with the NCA in 2024, or late 2023, upon which they were reinstated. In the current case where I took the directive was given to the NCA to shut down the radio station, I first got a request from the security apparatus to shut down. I declined that request and requested that there is a DISEC in the constituency or in the district, and there's a regional coordinating council, and requested that the regional coordinating council must have a meeting with DISEC and take a decision on the complaints that had come to the ministry on insightful comments, not this time against of ethnic behavior, but against officers of the army, the Ghana Armed Forces, and the Ghana Police who were carrying out peacekeeping duties there. So the incitement that came to our notice this time was against the security operatives. And so RegSec met, took a decision. I demanded the minutes of the RegSec meeting. That was sent to the Ministry of Local Government. The Ministry of Local Government forwarded that to the Ministry of Interior, which acts as the supervisory ministry for national security. And then the Minister for National Security made a request on the back of that. And so we exercise extreme caution in taking this decision. At the moment, I am still following the briefing from National Security on the volatility of the situation there. If we are giving the clearance that the situation has improved, we will reconsider it. However, let me state that that radio station is currently operating on Facebook. They still carry out their broadcast on Facebook, not on the spectrum. And we keep getting reports from RegSec and National Security, which I refer to another agency under my ministry, the Cyber Security Authority, because in some of the instances, specific people we have identified are calling for the attack on the armed forces. So it is a very dicey situation, and I want to use this medium to plead with everyone who does radio broadcast. We have only one nation. The attack on our men in uniform, military or police, cannot be countenanced by anyone that a media house will be calling for attacks on them, irrespective of which side of the ethnic divide you sit on. Our men in uniform must be protected at all times. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Have we now moved back?
Huh?
Have we now moved back?
Mr. Speaker, my colleague, Jerry Ahmed, the second deputy whip, was having a conversation with our boss. So
you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the minister the reasons attributed to why those 4 radio stations were closed on national security grounds or briefings. Have you gone beyond the security briefings to engage the owners, and if that is done, what measures are you putting in place so that sooner or later you can reopen those radio stations?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as Minister, I haven't authorized the shutdown of 4 radio stations. I've authorized the shutdown of 1. In 2023, I wasn't minister, but that was when there was the decision to shut down the 4 radio stations. I'm not privy to the reasons that were given to the then minister to warrant the shutdown in 2023 of the 4. However, what I am privy to is the fact that the 4 radio stations signed a bond of good behavior, which I have records of at the NCA. I cannot speak to what the national security considerations were then, but since I became minister, we've had to shut down just 1, giving the national security implications of the commentary on that radio station. I thank you.
Yes, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know you miss me, I know. But Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the minister for the answers he's given to this House. Just to say that there seems to be a growing interference in the work of the NCA. We know that the minister is supposed to give policy directions to the NCA and all of that. But even in the workings of the NCA, there seems to be a lot of ministerial interference, which is affecting the independence. Oh, please, it's a question. Take your time. Which seems to be affecting the independence of the NCA. Because Section 5(2) of the Electronics Act clearly states, please allow me, are you the one, Chair? States that the minister shall not interfere with the day-to-day administration
Honorable
of the
member,
authority.
you are violating Standing Order 88.
So, Mr. Speaker, to my question, I want to find out from the minister why the excessive interference from his office to the NCA, and if it does not appreciate the fact that it's affecting the independence of the regulatory body. Thank you very much.
Honorable member, is your question emanating from the question numbered 6A?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it has to do with the issuance of letters from the minister's office, even revoking licenses.
Honorable member, let's look at the question together to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations the circumstances that necessitated the closure of the following radio stations. This has nothing completely to do with interference, so I will advise you to file a fresh question. Thank you very much. Yes, honorable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, recognizing the role played by the community radio stations, don't you think that the decision to shut these radio stations down was a bit far-fetched?
Yes, honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, in fact, given the critical nature of community radio stations, they have a higher duty of responsibility to obey the law and respect the law. The same way members of Parliament are expected to be of good behavior because we are called honorable. We are expected to do better than the regular citizen. It's the same way when you have a frequency to broadcast information and shape the minds and inform the people, you must abide by the law. Nobody is above the law. The law is the law. Thank you.
Yes.
Honorable Minister, are there plans to allocate more spectrums this year?
Honorable member, the question is on closure.
Yes, so I'm talking about for community radio stations.
Yes. The question that brought the minister to the House is on closure of some radio stations. So if you want to know from the minister the plans to open fresh radio stations, kindly file a fresh question. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to find out from the Honorable Minister. Clearly from his answers, he has demonstrated that he is expecting strict adherence from these community radio stations when it comes to renewal of licensing. He has also indicated that notice is given 6 months prior to, notice is first given 6 months prior to renewal. And then you are actually supposed to renew it or submit your applications for renewal 3 months before the expiration. Is it a position that once you submit your application, then you are excluded from the possibility of your radio station being closed down, so that it will be clearer that these community radio stations will actually know that once they submit their applications, then they are free, and that will take away the potentials or possibility of being closed down. And I want to find out from the minister if there is some sort of assurance in there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, applications can either be accepted or declined. And so the fact that you apply for a renewal does not mean automatic renewal. Because when you are applying, you apply with a certain number of documents. For example, you apply with your tax clearance certificate. You apply to show that you've been paying your taxes. You apply with an audited financial statement. So the application without the complete set of documents in itself makes your application ineffective. However, once you have begun the process before the 90 days, and if you follow my response, for example, with Abo Channel Media House, the Abo Channel Media Station, multimedia, they began within the 90 days, but were unable to submit all the documentation. They came back to ask the NCA for a waiver, which the NCA declined. If they had met all the documentation within the period, we would not have shut them down. Because even when the waiver was requested and it was declined by the NCA gave them a time frame to submit the required documents. So when you submit before the 90 days, it gives you the opportunity to start the process. But you must make sure you submit completed documentation. Because what I must be clear about is the regulator will not allow you to abuse the system of the system of renewal, such that you just put in an incomplete application to hold the hand of the regulator and continue broadcasting when your documentation is not complete. If you apply for renewal, we will check the documents. If they are up to date, we will renew it. If they are not complete, you'll be given a timeline to submit your completed documents. I thank you.
Right, Honorable Speaker, just a follow-up question. So by your answer, is there a specified period and in law that is required of the NCA to consider your application when you submit them? Do you have a specified period, or is it open-ended, that they have the luxury of time to consider your application anytime they please?
Honorable Member, your question is, if the application is submitted, is there a time period within which the NCA is supposed to look at the application? Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, 90 days. That's why you are asked to apply 90 days, at least 90 days before the expiration, so that at the time your license is expiring, the NCA would have completed its processes and renewed your license. Because do not forget that the fact that you operate even one day without a valid license is a breach of the law. And a typical example of that is Asasi Radio, which operated for a period of about 10 weeks in 2024 after their license had expired, and only did an application 10 weeks later. It means in that 10 weeks, they were operating illegally without a license. So 90 days is the period. You apply, we renew, and then you have a transition. Thank you.
Honourable members, may we move to another urgent question, also standing in the name of Osahin Alexander Kwamina Apanyo Makins, Member of Parliament for Efutu. Do you equally have the authority?
Yes, I do, Speaker.
I will permit you to ask the question.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology Innovations, the immediate cybersecurity measures being implemented on digital platforms following the hacking of President Mahama's X account on the 18th of March 2025. I thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
On 16th March 2025, the Twitter or X account of President John Dramani Mahama was used to publish promotional content for a fraudulent Solana-based cryptocurrency, Solana Africa. The published tweets falsely implied the president's endorsement of a meme token investment opportunity. Our investigations at the Cybersecurity Authority strongly indicate that the breach resulted from a social engineering attack targeting a public relations handler responsible for managing the president's account. Rather than direct account compromise, attackers exploited human vulnerabilities, tricking the handler into revealing access credentials or authorizing malicious access through a phishing link. This incident illustrates how human vulnerabilities, not just technical gaps, can expose high-value digital assets. The attackers behind this event leveraged social engineering and not brute force tactics to weaponize the president's brand and influence. The Cybersecurity Authority, as part of the National Set Enhancement Project and financed through the World Bank's Ghana Digital Acceleration Project, has acquired a threat intelligence and digital risk management tool. This tool, when loaded with the profiles of approved government officials, will automate the current manual process of trying to detect and respond to malicious activities involving the accounts of these officials. And Mr. Speaker, at this point, let me segue and repeat that I have made an application to both sides of the House since I became minister. It's been 5 months, requesting that leadership of both sides of the House furnish the ministry with the official social media handles of members of Parliament so that the Cybersecurity Authority could work with platform operators to protect their accounts and take out fraudulent accounts. I'm yet to receive one response from both sides of the House. The CSA has also engaged Meta, owners of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, to organize virtual sessions for account managers, for MMDAs, and VIPs like MPs on how to properly set up and manage their social media accounts. Mr. Speaker, the CSA has also planned to organize a cyber hygiene training for government officials to sensitize appointees on the threats, risk, and measures to mitigate these threats to safeguard sensitive personal and government data, as well as other digital assets. The ministry, through the Cybersecurity Authority, is committed to ensuring a secured, robust, and reliable network connectivity to all citizens, and we will work closely with both local and international partners to achieve this. And Mr. Speaker, if I may, there is another question on the order paper today that asks the same thing. I do not know if this answer, given your discretion, it stands in the name of the Honourable Member of Parliament for Efia Constituency, Mr. Isaac Boama Nyako, if this would also apply to that question.
If your answer will take care of that particular question, when we get there, then you said that your previous answer has taken care of the listing. Yes, a supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, I just want to plead with you.
Let's exhaust a supplementary question from the question.
I want to make an intervention before he comes in. The minister has another 5 questions to answer. So I just want to plead with you, if you can limit the supplementary questions to in 1-1, looking at the time.
Very well.
I'm just pleading with you.
Very well. Yes. Chief Whip. Honorable member, please. Honorable member, these are issues to be resolved between leadership. You don't put on your microphone to say open tema kwai.
Mr. Speaker, it was an accident. Honestly, it was an accident, Mr. Honorable Speaker.
Please, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, if you indulge me, my good friend, the minister, was expected to answer the question. Then he made some passing comments I find quite interesting. And as the whip of my side, I have not received an official communication to that effect. So if he will reach out to us officially, we will be glad to respond to him duly. In respect of getting social media account, official social media account of members. Yes. Speaker, just for the records. Now, my question will be, were there incidental vulnerabilities that were discovered in respect of the President's X account? And if there were any, have you resolved it permanently, or it is work in progress?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, all vulnerabilities related to the President's X accounts have been dealt with decisively between the Cybersecurity Authority, the handlers of his account, and the operators of the X platform. No further vulnerabilities exist. Thank you.
So I further wish to know from the minister if the hacking went beyond the President's X account and got into the general digital infrastructure of the country. And if it was the case, can he confirm or deny?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there is absolutely no indication of any compromise of our digital infrastructure as a country. It remains as robust as it has always been. And when it came to the President's account, within 26 hours, we were able to work with the platform operators to recover full control of the account. Thank you.
So,
yes.
I will not seek the opinion of the minister, because that offends our rules. On the 26 hours, I put it to the minister that for a whole ministry to use 26 hours to secure or contain.
Then, in that case, you are violating Standing Order 88.
So would you listen to me?
Well, the way you have started, you asked me whether would that offend the rules or not. Let me provide a guideline based on which you can proceed. 88.7. A member in asking a question shall not address the House, raise any argument, C, offer an opinion. So you may proceed to ask the question, being guided by Order 88.7.
Thank you. Speaker, the minister says his outfit used 24 hours to, was it 26? 6 hours in containing the situation. does it appreciate these number of hours as excessive in terms of the fact that it had to do with the first gentleman of the land? Does it appreciate it as excessive hours used in containing the situation?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the platforms are not owned and managed locally. They're not owned by Ghana. X is owned by its majority shareholder, Elon Musk. Mr. Speaker, within 3 hours of the breach, and my answer was that it took us 26 hours to get full control of the account. But within 3 hours, we had reached out to our point of contact in X, and X had immediately taken control of the account. However, the standard operating procedure is that they will do an analysis of the breach to determine whether it was a social engineering attack or a system vulnerability. Now, that is the preserve of the platform operator. And so they had to do their work, do their analysis, and we involved, because of the individual involved, the first gentleman of the land, we involved law enforcement, both here in Ghana and in the US. And so the FBI also got involved in the case. And so all of that had to be cleared before full control was reissued to Ghana or to the handlers of the president. So it's not that for 26 hours there was no control, but that's the time it took for the platform operators to finish their own threat analysis and restore control. And this is something anybody who's used Facebook, which is another platform, when your account, you make a complaint, at times it takes about 48 hours for them to do their own analysis and get back to you. That's outside of our control. Thank you.
Yes.
Speaker,
supplementary question number 5.
I'm still within the provisions of 89.3.
Yes, you should ask 5.
Speaker, can the minister confirm as an afterthought that measures have been put in place to forestall the reoccurrence of such incidents? Not just the president, but generally.
An afterthought of... Let me get your question clear.
As an aftermath of what happened,
yes,
has he considered measures to forestall the reoccurrence?
Okay, the word is aftermath.
Yes.
Yes. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, yes, we have taken adequate measure to ensure that the handlers of the president's accounts and by extension all government officials, and if we work with Parliament, all public officers of Parliament will have their accounts protected. And I stated that we had just secured a threat intelligence tool under the GDAP program to boost our capabilities as a country handling such occurrences. So yes, we have taken adequate measure post the event. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the efforts by the Cybersecurity Unit of Ghana to retrieve the account of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. Just to say that the account was hacked, the account was hacked in March, April, May, June. And the Minister assures us that they've taken adequate measures to prevent further hacking of the President's account. But is the Minister aware that X provides a special verification for persons like the President? There's a grey verification. As we speak, since the day the President's account was hacked, the President still has a blue verification, which means that somebody just paid for it. And
Honorable Member, what is your question?
So my question is that what steps is he taking to get the President a grey verification, the very thing that he intends to do for members of Parliament? Thank you very much.
Very well. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let's be clear. There is no difference in the security architecture for blue ticks or grey ticks. There's no difference. When you look at the security measures for blue ticked accounts, grey ticked accounts, yellow ticked accounts, it's the same level of security architecture that X provides to all of those verifications. All it does, the color coding does, is to identify one as a public officer, one as a corporate institution, and one as a politically exposed person. It is the decision of the handlers of the president at this point in time to maintain the blue tick. But that in no way compromises the security architecture around it. And let me reiterate the fact that the Cybersecurity Authority is on top of its brief relative to the president's social media handles. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Minister, does His Excellency the President manage the account by himself? Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Honourable Minister.
My understanding is that that is a matter of national security, and so I'm unable to answer. Thank you.
Honourable Member, let me read the relevant rules. Any other member may be allowed to ask not more than 2 supplementary questions. So you may be allowed. It's not an automatic right. We feel I am entitled to. It's not your entitlement. You may be allowed. So that is up to the discretion of the Speaker. Honourable members, let's move to question number 6C, standing in the name of Honourable Patricia Apiaje, Member of Parliament for Asokwa.
Speaker, fortified with Order 88.3, if respectfully I have your leave to ask the questions on behalf of, because she is directed, I have the authority.
Honourable Member, Order 88.3 cannot fortify you. If you have the authority, say so.
Speaker, I have the authority, and I ask permission to ask.
Based on the authority, permission is granted.
Very well, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation the projected timeline for the completion and full operationalization of the Digital Youth Village, DYV project at the University of Ghana, which is currently at 70% completion. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Digital Youth Village is a center of excellence for digital entrepreneurship and youth skill development. This center will connect policy, academia, and industry through hands-on training and business incubation, creating an environment where Ghanaian youth can thrive in the digital economy. The DYV will operate through 5 thematic and specialized hubs, each addressing a critical sector of digital transformation, as outlined in the digital economy policy, agri-tech, health tech, edu-tech, e-commerce, and fintech. The expected completion time for physical construction is September 2025. The expected time for operationalization is October 2025. The Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation has requested for and are awaiting commitment authorization from the Ministry of Finance to pay outstanding IPCs submitted by the consultant. Government is currently auditing the project as part of the audit of projects from the previous government. This has affected IPC 6, 7, and 8. IPC 9 and 10 have also since been submitted by the consultant for processing. Once these IPCs are paid, the contractor can complete the work as scheduled by September 2025. The ministry is hopeful that operationalization can commence within the new academic year. And as part of the budget approved by this House, an amount in excess of 80 million Ghana cedis has been approved for the completion of this project. Thank you.
Any supplementary?
So, Mr. Speaker, so I want to be clear. Is the Honorable Minister saying that we would have to make payments of the IPCs raised before there will be full commitment towards the completion of the project? You indicated that there are some IPCs which have been raised. And I'm asking, do we need those IPCs paid? Are they supposed to be paid before we would have a completion of this project?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the IPCs are basically the certificates for work done. And so the contractor has done that work, and we need to pay him so that he can complete the remaining 30%. The money and funds are available, awaiting, but the new regime at the Ministry of Finance is that you cannot commit any resource without a commencement warrant, signed by the Minister of Finance. That warrant request has gone from the ministry because we've certified the IPCs 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. However, the Ministry of Finance is auditing all projects that were ongoing under the previous administration. And that is what has held this commencement warrant from being issued. Once it is issued, the ministry will be able to write to controller to pay those IPCs, and then we'll get the project back on track. Our understanding is before the middle of July, the audit would have been completed, we would have gotten our commencement warrant, and that's why we have the September and October timelines to complete the project. Thank you.
Any further question?
That is so. Honorable Minister, in case we are not able to have the commitment warrants fully issued, do we have any alternatives in ensuring that this project will still go on and get completed, as you indicated that the next academic year it should be ready?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the ministry is confident, given our engagements with the Ministry of Finance, that we will be given the commitment authorization anytime soon, and that this will complete. But let me be clear that the Digital Youth Village is not to be used for academic work of the university. It's going to be a center of excellence owned by the Ministry of Communications, because it's coming out of our budget, but academic support will come from the university for the various trainings we want to use, because the DYV is going to be one of our centers of excellence for the 1 Million Coders program, and some of our faculty will come from the university. And so it has no bearing on the university's academic work, because those are centers of excellence in the 5 tech areas: fintech, edutech, health tech, agri-tech, and e-commerce. Thank you.
Speaker,
Yes.
I want to thank the Honorable Minister for indulging me.
Thank you, honorable members. Let's move to question number 6D, standing in the name of Nana Ampao Kwame Adofrimpong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I seek to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation the circumstances surrounding the sudden dismissal of 5 zonal managers of the National Communications Authority in Kufuridia, Ho, Takrade, Boligatanga, and Tamale zonal offices.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, the Section 19 of the NCA Act 2008, Act 769, officers and staff of the NCA shall be appointed by the President in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution. As Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations, acting on the authority of the President, I terminated the appointment of the 5 senior managers heading the NCA zonal offices in Kufuridia, Ho, Takrady, Bolgatanga, and Tamale on 11th March 2025. The NCA has subsequently paid all the separation benefits to the former staff in line with the NCA's HR Policy Manual 2017. Mr. Speaker, the 5 staff, after collecting their separation benefits, have now gone to sue the NCA in court. Because the matter is before court, I shall refrain from any further comment on the matter. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity again. Minister,
Honourable Member, in view of the fact that the Minister indicated the matter is in court, therefore he will not comment on it, you want to proceed to ask a further question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, my question has nothing to do with the matter before court. I just need confirmation from the minister that the president, is it the president that asked him to dismiss the 5 zonal managers? That is all. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, when the President swore me into office, I took 3 oaths. The oath of secrecy, the oath of allegiance, and the oath of a Minister of State. Communication between the President and myself is bound by the oath of secrecy. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, this is a house of...
Please.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
You have no opportunity of asking another supplementary question. So let me give the floor to Honourable Befi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the House of Records, and this is the Parliament of Ghana. I think we have a responsibility towards our constituents and Ghanaians in general. We want the minister, with your leave, to answer the specific questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Honourable Member, in view of the fact that I understand what the classified information is, I'm unable to grant the leave.
Yes, Speaker. Can I please, Mr. Speaker, can I please ask another subsequent question, please?
No, you are entitled to one supplementary question.
No, let me just ask one, just one, sir.
One supplementary question. Please, let's move to item numbered 6E. Standing in the name of Honorable Charles Isuako Owuredu, Member of Parliament for Ibrim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation to provide details on the terms of the agreement with Canada-based Rectron Group for the acquisition of a 60% stake in AT Ghana, including the financial valuation, safeguards for national interest, and measures to ensure that the deal enhances telecommunications infrastructure and affordability for Ghanaians. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as Parliament may recall, the Government of Ghana in 2021 acquired 100% shareholding in the joint venture vehicle called AT Ghana. In acquiring the company, the Akufo-Addo-led government accepted liability in excess of $200 million US. This debt has negatively impacted the operations and viability of AT Ghana and inhibited growth of any kind. Since assumption of office as minister in February this year, I have set out to meet the creditors of AT Ghana to restructure the debt portfolio and determine the future of the company. My office has received a number of proposals and have studied same. In May this year, the ministry signed an MOU with Messrs. Afritel Rectron to explore the possibility of a partnership arrangement for the management of the company. At the moment, Mr. Speaker, the ministry has not entered into any agreement with Canada-based Rectron Group. And so, in direct response to the question, I am unable to provide any details, as there is no agreement to provide details on. Thank you.
Yes, supplementary question.
Mr. Minister, per the MOU that you signed with Rectron, Can you tell us if the company, Rectron, do have any track record in the communication space? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as this is an ongoing engagement between the representatives of the ministry, Mrs. KPMG, and Afritel Rectron, and again, it's not Rectron. There is Rectron as a company, but the consortium that is dealing with the ministry on an MOU is called Afritel Rectron. I'm unable to go into the specifics of or pass judgment on the capabilities of a partner we are in conversation with. That will be acting in bad faith. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Mr. Minister, in your earlier answer, you did say that AT is indebted to the tune of about $200 million. Are we sure that with the coming in, if the MOU if the final agreement is signed with this company will be able to invest in AT in such a way that AT can stand on its feet and then match companies like the MTN?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the challenging situation of AT is testament to the poor governance that we saw in the sector for 8 years. The fact that two viable thriving companies that were handed over to the MPP administration after 8 years were brought to their knees with $200 million of debt. I can assure you that any decision that I take as minister will be in the best interest of the company and the Ghanaian taxpayer. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Minister, in your earlier answer, you also did say that this new company that you've signed an MOU with is Afritel Rectron. This company, Afritel Rectron, do they have any track record in Ghana in the communication space?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I wish to seek clarity from you. I was asked to come and answer a question on what the details of a 60% agreement were. Now I'm being asked to speak about a partner in that agreement and pass judgment on them.
Honorable Minister, you introduced the African Rectron. So the question is based on what you have introduced. If you do not have the answer available, you can say so.
No, Mr. Speaker, I introduced Afritel Rectron as the entity we have signed an MOU with, which is the question I was asked. Yes. So we've signed an MOU with Afritel Rectron. I believe that the issues of what their track record are issues of public knowledge and can be verified from the Office of Registrar of Companies.
Very well.
Thank you.
If that is your answer, we'll take it to be your answer. Yes. Honourable members, let's move to regular questions. Item numbered 7. Question number 142, standing in the name of Mr. Isaac Boama Nyako, Efia, MP for Efia. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I come under Order 8083. I have the authority by the Honourable Member to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, the circumstances that led to the hacking of the account of the President of Ghana and what efforts have been made to avoid its future occurrence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, I think the answer to this question is similar to the previous answer provided. So, do we still take the answer? Yes.
This House interpretation of the rules is in your motion, but if I may do a reasonable deduction.
Very well.
My question was an urgent question, and hence, by practice, the answers would not be published in the vote in the order paper. However, his question is different. His question is a normal question, so to speak. However, since the content is the same, Speaker, may you direct that the answers should be probably given to the member so that he can appreciate, because he read it as an urgent question, and the answers were not provided in the...
Yes, and he even indicated
yes,
that in view of the fact that the answers that he's providing will be the same answer to question number 142, should he take the two together? Then I indicated to the minister that when we get there, we would address the issue. So it's already gone into the record that the answers which are being provided to the question that you asked would as well answer question number 142. Can we make progress?
Certainly, yes, Speaker.
Yes.
We should make progress.
So question numbered 238. Standing in the name of Honorable Peter Lanchiri Tobu, Member of Parliament for Wa West. Yes, Honorable James Agalga.
Mr. Speaker, with your leave, may I ask the question on behalf of the Honorable Peter Lanchini Tobu? He's instructed me to do so on his behalf.
Well, we don't base it on instruction, and I cannot grant my leave based on instruction.
Authority.
Very well.
I am guided, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. If you have his authority, permission is granted.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations when the over 50 communities, which include the following, will have network connectivity. I, Dabo, I, Gurungu, I, Ku, Chili, Yiri, V, Vieri, V, Lase.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, even before I answer, I want to crave the indulgence of the constituents of Honorable Peter Lanchini Tobo to forgive any possible butchering of the pronunciation of the community names. But GIFEC, the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication, has completed the construction of 9 sites in Kekelepari, Sanuri, Banpama, Donye, Jagu, Nirekuting, Lasia Tolu, Benrinyasi, and Wechao Bao. These sites are currently on air, and the communities will have mobile network coverage when the sites are completed. Mr. Speaker, 6 other sites in the Ponyamairi, Kekelepari, Dalinyiri, Kaneo, Kuzie, and Wokora have been built, integrated, and operationalized. Mr. Speaker, the details of the status of the 5 communities mentioned in the question are as follows. Gurungu and Kukiliyiri. These sites have been constructed, integrated, and are pending operationalization. Lasie, there is no record on Lasie as of now. A site has, however, been constructed at Lasie Tolu, which is on air. Vieri, This site has been surveyed and acquired for construction. Materials for the construction are ready and will be moved to the site for construction work to begin. And then 5, Dabo. This community has not yet been captured by GIFEC. Mr. Speaker, a drive test exercise will be arranged to capture this community and many other communities in the district for simulation and subsequent planning and deployment. GIFEC is currently working with the contractor and its subcontractors to ensure all sites are completed and operationalized by the end of the year 2025. GIFEC remains committed to improving communication infrastructure in the Wa West district and the country at large. I thank you.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Wa West, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister for the efforts he's making towards ensuring that the communities listed get connectivity. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, question time has ended. On behalf of the House, I express our sincere gratitude to the Minister responsible for communication, digital technology and innovation. Honourable Minister, thank you very much for attending upon the House, your own House, and answering questions. You are hereby discharged. Yes, Majority Leader.
Which one? We'll take 11, a procedural motion. After that, the Speaker will indulge us. We'll take a commemorative statement.
Yes.
Speaker, he should start off with the procedural motion and take the substantive motion before we go to the statement. The procedural motion will just pave way for the substantive motion. We don't have to do the procedural motion and go back to statement and come back to the substantive. Mr. Majority Leader, you don't want government business to be done. Speaker, is it the case that the Majority Leader is stalling government
Honourable
business?
Member, item numbered 12 is consequent upon 11.
Yes,
so
Speaker,
once 11 is taken, it's a matter of course. We'll take
Speaker,
item number 12.
He made an application earlier. He made an earlier application that he would rather prefer the respected...
I am clear in my mind
Speaker,
what he was talking about.
Speaker, I'm your friend. No?
Yes, I know you are my very good friend.
His application was that he should make the procedural motion, application for the procedural motion. When it is done, then we'll go and take statement before we come to the main substantive motion. What is that?
I didn't get
and
it
I'm
that way.
questioning whether the government...
Well, we have to exhaust this item, 11 and 12.
Speaker, can you listen
then
to
we
me?
come to statement.
Speaker, can you listen to me? Is it the case that the Majority Leader is sabotaging...
Does your toothpaste give you complete fresh protection? New Close-Up Toothpaste Complete Fresh Protection takes care of your 5 important oral care needs.